The tension in the world of reality TV just reached a fever pitch, and you won't believe what went down behind closed doors. Late last night, sources close to the cast revealed that Yandy Smith has officially filed for divorce from Mendeecees Harris, sending shockwaves through fans and social media alike. But this isn't just any breakup, this one is fueled by scandal, betrayal, and a courtroom revelation that no one saw coming. Rumors have been swirling for weeks, but nothing prepared the world for the bombshell involving Tamar Braxton, whose shocking court scandal has now entangled everyone in a web of accusations, heartbreak, and family drama. The whispers in the industry hinted at tension, but now the tension has exploded into a public spectacle, leaving friends, fans, and family members scrambling for answers. Eyewitnesses at a recent legal proceeding reported emotions running high as lawyers, family members, and even Tamar herself clashed in heated exchanges that reportedly had everyone in the courtroom on edge. Voices were raised, fingers were pointed, and at one point, the judge had to intervene to restore order. Friends of the couple say that Yandy has been holding on to secrets for months, and the court scandal involving Tamar was the final straw that pushed her to take action. The fallout has been immediate. Fans flooded social media with disbelief. Memes circulated at lightning speed, and the family was left divided over how to handle the public exposure of their private lives. But what exactly happened in that courtroom? Sources hint at explosive testimonies, with accusations flying between Tamar and Mendeecees that exposed secrets no one expected to see. Personal relationships were questioned, loyalties were tested, and every revelation seemed to drive another wedge between Yandy and Mendeecees. This isn't just a legal battle, it's a full-blown reality TV saga unfolding in real life. And fans are glued to every detail, desperate to know who will come out on top, who will be left devastated, and what the ultimate truth really is. Even outside the courtroom, the ripple effects are massive. Social media exploded with debates, reactions, and fans taking sides. Some are rallying behind Yandy, praising her courage to confront the scandal head-on, while others are questioning Mendeecees' actions and his role in the chaos. Tamar's own reputation has been caught in the crossfire, with viewers shocked by the revelations and wondering how far this scandal will reach. Every phone interview, every social media post, and every whispered rumor seems to add fuel to the fire, making this one of the most talked about moments in reality TV history. Tonight, the drama is far from over. With emotions running high, family ties strained, and secrets spilling into the public eye, the stage is set for a confrontation that fans will not want to miss. Every glance, every comment, every courtroom revelation has left the audience on the edge of their seats, waiting to see how Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar will navigate the chaos they now find themselves in. Prepare yourself, because what unfolds next will change everything you thought you knew about this power couple, their friends, and the shocking court scandal that has rocked their world. The courtroom was tense, the air thick with anticipation as everyone waited for the next bombshell to drop. Yandy Smith entered with a steely look in her eyes, her steps measured, her demeanor calm yet electric with unspoken fury. Cameras flashed, capturing every detail, but no lens could fully capture the storm brewing inside her. She had endured months of whispers, rumors, and mounting frustration, but today she would no longer remain silent. The divorce papers were in her hands, a symbol of her breaking point, a tangible declaration that the life she had built with Mendeecees Harris was now unraveling before the world. Whispers ran through the courtroom as fans and journalists speculated about the catalyst for this shocking move. But few expected the revelation that was about to shake the reality TV universe to its core. Tamar Braxton, seated across the room, was an image of conflicted emotions. Her eyes darted nervously, glimmers of guilt, fear, and defiance flickering across her face. The court had become a stage for confrontation, and Tamar, unintentionally or not, was at the center of it all. Sources close to the scene revealed that her recent scandal, one that had involved explosive testimony about private conversations and alleged betrayals, had pushed Yandy over the edge. Fans were left in disbelief, flooded with questions about how Tamar's actions intersected with Mendeecees' behavior and what secrets had been hidden for so long. The drama was undeniable. Friends of the couple reported that for weeks, tensions had simmered, unspoken words like tinder waiting to ignite into flames of confrontation. And now the moment had arrived. As the proceedings began, the room's atmosphere became electric. Lawyers presented documents with meticulous precision, but it was the human drama that held everyone's attention. Mendeecees, once composed, began to show cracks under the pressure. He leaned forward, whispering to his attorney, eyes darting nervously toward Yandy and Tamar. Emotions ran high as every accusation and rebuttal peeled back layers of secrecy, revealing fractures in relationships that fans had never imagined. The exchanges were heated, voices rising, each word laced with a mixture of anger, regret, and defiance. It was clear that the personal stakes were immense. Yandy had sacrificed years of loyalty, trust, and love, and now she demanded answers in a way that left no room for ambiguity. Outside the courtroom, the scene was no less chaotic. Fans and paparazzi swarmed the area, phones recording every whispered conversation and every hint of tension between the parties involved. Social media exploded as clips of Mendeecees' anxious glances and Tamar's conflicted expressions circulated rapidly. Comments poured in from viewers across the country. Some expressed shock and disbelief. Others took sides, defending Yandy's courage while criticizing Mendeecees' alleged duplicity. The digital world mirrored the courtroom drama, amplifying the stakes and ensuring that no detail would remain private for long. Insiders suggested that family members had also been drawn into the turmoil, with heated phone calls and confrontations happening behind closed doors. The personal fallout was spreading like wildfire, leaving everyone connected to the drama scrambling to assess the damage. Inside the courtroom, the tension reached a crescendo when Tamar was called to the stand. Her voice trembled slightly at first, betraying the inner turmoil she tried to mask. But as the questioning intensified, she grew defensive, her emotions raw and unfiltered. "I never meant for anyone to get hurt," she said. Her tone, a mixture of regret and frustration, but things spiraled out of control. And now Yandy is reacting the way anyone would after months of deception. The judge listened intently, occasionally interjecting to maintain order, while Yandy's expression remained unreadable, a mask of controlled fury. It was a pivotal moment, one that would likely be replayed endlessly on social media, dissected and debated by fans eager to understand every nuance of the confrontation. Mendeecees, for his part, tried to defend himself, but every attempt seemed to open new wounds. "This isn't what it looks like," he insisted, his voice tight, his gestures betraying nervousness. "There's context here that's being ignored." But the courtroom was unforgiving, and the public narrative had already begun to form. The tension between him and Yandy was palpable, and for those watching, it was clear that their relationship had reached a point of no return. Insiders hinted at long-standing issues, arguments that had been ignored, frustrations that had been buried, and betrayals that had slowly eroded the foundation of trust. Now, with Tamar's scandal as a trigger, everything had erupted, leaving the couple's future in serious jeopardy. As the proceedings continued, dramatic twists kept unfolding. Evidence presented revealed private communications, text messages, and testimonies that contradicted public statements, sparking outrage among fans and insiders alike. "How could this happen?" one family friend reportedly exclaimed backstage. "Yandy has always been the rock, and now the very things she endured in silence are being dragged into the open." The courtroom became a battleground not just for legal arguments, but for emotional vindication, a space where grievances that had been simmering for years finally had a voice. The narrative grew more tangled as more witnesses were called, each bringing new revelations, each adding layers to the story of betrayal, heartbreak, and scandal. Throughout it all, Yandy remained composed but determined. She had prepared meticulously, anticipating every move from Mendeecees and the potential fallout from Tamar's involvement. Her statements were precise, her tone firm, leaving no room for misinterpretation. "I will not let my life be dictated by secrecy and betrayal," she declared at one point, her voice echoing through the courtroom. "The truth matters, and I am here to ensure it comes to light." The impact was immediate. Murmurs ran through the room, fans shared every clip online, and the drama began to take on a life of its own. Far beyond the walls of the courthouse, the stakes were higher than ever, as lawyers continued their arguments, evidence mounted, and emotions threatened to boil over. The intersection of personal relationships and public scrutiny created a pressure cooker environment, and everyone involved felt the weight of the moment. Friends and families struggled to mediate, fans speculated endlessly, and social media buzzed with theories and reactions. Each revelation seemed more shocking than the last, leaving viewers on the edge of their seats, hungry for more. The drama was far from over, and as the court adjourned for a brief recess, whispers of potential confrontations outside the courtroom added an extra layer of suspense, promising that the storm was only intensifying. Yandy's courage in filing for divorce amidst such a scandalous backdrop became a focal point of discussion. Interviews with insiders revealed that she had wrestled with the decision for months, weighing loyalty against self-respect, love against betrayal. Friends described her as resolute, unwilling to allow the scandal and secrets to define her life. She's done everything to protect her family and her integrity, one confidant shared. Now she's taking control in a way that's both shocking and empowering. The public's reaction was immediate. Hashtags supporting Yandy began trending. Memes highlighting the courtroom drama went viral, and fans engaged in heated debates about loyalty, morality, and the complexity of relationships in the limelight. Meanwhile, Mendeecees' position grew increasingly precarious. Whispers of past indiscretions and questionable decisions surfaced, each revelation adding fuel to the fire. His interactions with Tamar, once viewed as professional or benign, were now scrutinized under the harsh glare of public opinion. Every statement, every gesture, every defensive comment seemed to escalate the tension, leaving him vulnerable to criticism from fans, media, and even members of his own inner circle. Sources reported that arguments had erupted off camera as well, with friends attempting to mediate, but emotions ran too high, and the damage appeared irreversible. As the day stretched on, the courtroom drama morphed into a spectacle of raw emotion. Family members exchanged tense glances, friends whispered anxiously, and fans hung on to every detail shared online. Each revelation built upon the last, creating a narrative of betrayal, scandal, and high-stakes confrontation that left everyone involved on edge. Even minor details, a look, a pause, a hesitant word were dissected, adding depth and intensity to the unfolding story. It was clear that this was more than a legal battle. It was a public unraveling of relationships, a dramatic exposure of secrets, and a turning point that would define the lives of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar for years to come. The final moments before adjournment were electric. Yandy stood, poised, her eyes fixed on Mendeecees, the weight of months of hidden tensions finally finding a tangible outlet. She spoke with a clarity and authority that left no room for doubt, every word deliberate, every pause calculated. I deserve the truth. I deserve respect. And today, in this room, I will not settle for less. The declaration reverberated through the courtroom, a powerful signal that the drama was far from over, that the story would continue to unfold in unexpected ways, and that fans around the world were witnessing history in the making. Whispers of further confrontations, potential media appearances, and escalating social media drama hinted at the chaos yet to come. As the doors closed for the recess, the atmosphere was charged with anticipation. Cameras continued to flash, social media buzzed with speculation, and the parties involved prepared for what promised to be a continuation of the most shocking, emotionally charged saga reality TV had seen in years. Fans were left with questions that demanded answers. How would Yandy navigate the aftermath of Tamar's scandal? What would become of her relationship with Mendeecees? And how far would the repercussions reach into the world beyond the courtroom? The tension was palpable, the stakes monumental, and the drama had only just begun to escalate, leaving the entire audience riveted, eager, and undeniably hooked. The courtroom reconvened, the air heavier than before. As everyone settled into their seats, anticipation crackling like electricity through the room, Yandy's presence dominated the space. Every step she took, every subtle glance she cast, conveyed a determination that left onlookers both awed and apprehensive. Whispers circulated among the audience, reporters leaning forward to catch any hint of reaction, and fans on social media were glued to live updates, dissecting every movement for hidden meaning. The drama had reached a fever pitch, and it was clear that nothing in this room would remain calm for long. Mendeecees sat across from Yandy, a mixture of defensiveness and exhaustion on his face. The strain of the past months, compounded by Tamar's courtroom revelations, had begun to erode his composure. Insiders reported that he had spent the night prior in near panic, strategizing with lawyers and advisors, trying to anticipate Yandy's next move. The tension between the couple was palpable. Every word, every gesture seemed layered with unspoken accusations and lingering resentment. The spectators could almost feel the friction, a silent storm threatening to explode at any moment. Tamar, seated nearby, seemed caught in a whirlwind of guilt and defiance. She shifted uneasily as the proceedings began, her hands clasped tightly in her lap, yet her eyes betrayed a flicker of calculation. Witnesses reported that her prior testimony had revealed more than just facts. It had exposed vulnerabilities, unspoken grudges, and relationships strained by years of secrecy. Fans were shocked by the rawness of the exchanges, and social media erupted with speculation about the nature of her involvement. The question on everyone's lips: was Tamar a victim of circumstance, or a catalyst in a scandal that would forever alter lives? As the proceedings continued, The drama intensified with each passing moment. Lawyers presented a series of messages, texts, and emails that had been exchanged between Mendeecees and Tamar, each one more damning than the last. "This is unbelievable," whispered an insider, watching Yandy's expression shift from calm control to barely restrained outrage. The layers of betrayal and secrecy keep unfolding, and no one knows what to expect next. The courtroom had transformed into a stage for raw emotion, with every revelation driving tension higher and forcing everyone involved to confront uncomfortable truths. Mendeecees attempted to defend himself, but every explanation seemed to deepen the drama. "You have to understand. Context matters," he said, his voice tight with tension. Yet Yandy, unwavering, responded with measured precision. "Context doesn't excuse deceit," she declared, her words slicing through the courtroom with clarity and impact. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the audience. Fans online praised her composure, marveling at the contrast between her steady resolve and Mendeecees' increasingly flustered demeanor. It was a turning point, a moment when the balance of power seemed to shift decisively in Yandy's favor. Outside the courtroom, the storm of reactions continued to build. Paparazzi swarmed the area, capturing every glance, every whispered exchange, while fans shared and dissected clips in real time. Hashtags supporting Yandy climbed to the top of trending lists, while others questioned Mendeecees' role and accountability. Friends of both parties revealed that behind closed doors, tensions had reached unprecedented levels, with phone calls escalating into heated arguments, and family members struggling to mediate between conflicting loyalties. The personal consequences of the scandal were expanding far beyond the courtroom walls. Inside, the confrontation escalated further when a surprise witness was called. A close friend of Tamar's, who had previously remained silent, stepped forward with testimony that shook the room. Her account detailed private conversations, secret meetings, and moments of tension that had previously gone unreported. The revelations painted a picture of a tangled web of relationships, misunderstandings, and deliberate concealments, leaving both Yandy and Mendeecees visibly affected. The courtroom erupted with murmurs, journalists scrambling to document every detail, and fans online reacting with shock and speculation. As the witness continued, Yandy's focus never wavered. She listened intently, absorbing the details and preparing her next response. At one point, she leaned forward, eyes locked on Mendeecees, and said, "This is why I had to act. For months, the truth was hidden, and now it's finally coming to light." The statement sent ripples through the room, drawing attention to the magnitude of the situation. It was not just a divorce, it was the unraveling of years of secrecy, emotion, and carefully constructed public images. Fans were left debating whether justice, revenge, or personal closure was the primary driver behind her decision. Mendeecees' response was tense and defensive, but cracks in his composure were visible. His attempts to downplay the severity of the evidence were met with pointed rebuttals from Yandy's legal team. The exchanges became increasingly heated, voices rising, gestures intensifying, creating a spectacle that left everyone watching in awe. Friends and insiders described the moments as emotionally charged, likening the tension to a pressure cooker ready to explode. The courtroom drama was no longer just about legal proceedings. It transformed into a public display of raw emotion, betrayal, and confrontation. Amidst the chaos, Tamar's role became more complicated. While some witnesses portrayed her as an instigator, others suggested she had been caught in the crossfire, inadvertently contributing to the escalation. Her expressions alternated between anxiety and determination, signaling the inner conflict of someone aware of the consequences but unable to fully escape them. Social media debates flourished, fans taking sides, analyzing each gesture and statement, and creating a public discourse that rivaled the intensity of the courtroom itself. As the day progressed, more evidence came to light, each piece adding layers to the already intricate story. Text messages revealed hidden interactions, private meetings were exposed, and long-held grievances were laid bare. Every revelation brought new waves of shock and speculation, leaving the audience captivated and unable to look away. Insiders reported that family members struggled to process the information, some defending Yandy's decision, others expressing disbelief, and a few attempting to mediate the growing tensions between parties. The emotional stakes were higher than ever, and the courtroom had become the epicenter of one of the most dramatic, high-profile conflicts in recent reality TV history. As evening approached, the final moments of the day's proceedings were marked by a tense standoff. Yandy rose, her gaze unwavering, addressing the court with clarity and authority. "I will no longer allow secrecy and deception to dictate my life," she said, each word deliberate and resonant. Mendeecees, visibly shaken, attempted to respond, but the momentum had shifted. The courtroom, once a neutral space for legal procedure, had become a theater of emotion, confrontation, and revelation. Fans were left riveted, social media platforms flooded with reactions, and insiders speculated endlessly about what would happen next. The drama was far from over. Even as the courtroom emptied for the day, the ripple effects were felt across social media, television networks, and among friends and family. The complex interplay of betrayal, secrecy, and emotional confrontation ensured that no one involved could escape scrutiny. The story had morphed into a public spectacle, one that demanded attention and promised further twists in the days to come. The anticipation for the next session was palpable, with viewers, insiders, and fans alike waiting to see how Mendeecees and Tamar would navigate the fallout, confront lingering tensions, and face the consequences of the shocking court scandal that had captured the world's attention. The following morning, the courthouse was buzzing with an intensity that surpassed even the previous day. Fans, reporters, and onlookers gathered early, desperate for a glimpse of Yandy, Mendeecees, or Tamar. The media tents were packed, cameras ready to capture every angle, every glance, every whispered conversation. Insiders described a sense of anticipation, so thick it could almost be touched. It was clear that the story had taken on a life of its own, far beyond legal proceedings, and the stakes had never been higher. Yandy arrived first, her posture upright, eyes sharp, radiating a calm that contrasted the storm surrounding her. Her entrance alone drew gasps and murmurs, her aura of controlled intensity signaling that she was prepared for whatever the day would bring. The divorce papers, still in her possession, were more than documents. They were a declaration of empowerment, a statement that she would no longer tolerate deception or secrecy. Fans immediately began live-tweeting her every move, hashtags in her support trending globally, creating a digital echo that amplified the courtroom drama. Mendeecees entered moments later, his expression tense, betraying the pressure mounting on him. He exchanged brief nods with his legal team, attempting to mask nerves with an air of composure, but friends observed subtle signs of stress-tightened fists, quick glances at Yandy, and a stiffness in posture that suggested the weight of scrutiny was pressing down heavily. The tension between him and Yandy was palpable, a silent battle of wills that set the tone for the day's proceedings. Whispers circulated about how Tamar's involvement had exacerbated long-standing tensions, with her scandal acting as the catalyst for Yandy's bold decision to file for divorce. As the session began, the courtroom was immediately tense. The judge called the room to order, yet the underlying drama was impossible to contain. Yandy's attorneys presented additional evidence, including text exchanges, emails, and first-hand accounts that revealed deeper layers of secrecy and emotional manipulation than previously disclosed. The narrative painted a complex portrait of a relationship strained by hidden truths, betrayal, and miscommunication. Fans online were glued to every update, dissecting every detail, debating loyalties, and speculating about the possible outcomes. Tamar's testimony, which was anticipated with bated breath, began with a display of raw emotion. She recounted private interactions, moments of tension, and alleged misunderstandings that had contributed to the growing divide between Yandy and Mendeecees. Her voice wavered at points, betraying vulnerability, but quickly regained strength as she attempted to clarify her role. "I never wanted to hurt anyone," she admitted, "but I understand now how my actions contributed to the unraveling." Murmurs filled the courtroom as the weight of her words settled over the audience, leaving an impression of complexity, accountability, and unintended consequences. Mendeecees' response was immediate and defensive. He sought to contextualize the communications, explaining nuances and intentions that he claimed had been misrepresented. Yet, with every explanation, the tension escalated, his defenses appearing increasingly fragile against the meticulously presented evidence. Yandy, ever composed, listened intently, her expressions subtle but deliberate, conveying a quiet but unmistakable strength. The courtroom became a crucible for emotion, with personal grievances, unspoken resentments, and long-held secrets igniting like sparks in dry tinder. Outside the courtroom, the frenzy intensified. Social media platforms were flooded with reactions, fan debates, and commentary from reality TV personalities weighing in on the scandal. Clips of Tamar's testimony and Yandy's statements circulated rapidly, with viewers analyzing body language, tone, and even micro-expressions. The digital echo chamber amplified every nuance, turning a legal proceeding into a worldwide spectacle of drama, speculation, and heated discourse. Insiders revealed that even family members were divided, some supporting Yandy's quest for truth, others attempting to shield Mendeecees from further public scrutiny. The personal stakes extended far beyond the individuals in the room. As evidence continued to unfold, dramatic twists emerged. Previously undisclosed interactions surfaced, revealing hidden conversations between Tamar and Mendeecees that fans interpreted as both controversial and revealing. Each revelation added new layers to the narrative, further complicating the already tangled web of relationships and trust. Observers noted that the courtroom felt like a live performance. Every word, gesture, and reaction carefully scrutinized by those inside and outside the room. The suspense was almost unbearable, the audience hanging on every revelation, desperate to see how the drama would evolve. Yandy's composure remained a focal point. She methodically addressed each new piece of evidence, her voice steady, her presence commanding. "I have endured months of silence and secrecy," she asserted, "but today, the truth will not be ignored." The impact of her statements reverberated through the room, drawing reactions of admiration, shock, and speculation. The drama was not merely about a divorce. It was a public unmasking, a confrontation with hidden truths, and an emotional reckoning for everyone involved. Mendeecees' efforts to defend himself grew increasingly strained. His attempts to contextualize actions and clarify intentions were met with pointed questions and rebuttals, creating an escalating tension that left the courtroom on edge. Whispers of past disagreements, alleged betrayals, and emotional confrontations surfaced, painting a complex portrait of a relationship under immense pressure. The audience could sense that the story was far from over, with every revelation setting the stage for further conflict, speculation, and emotional turbulence. As the session approached its climax, the courtroom atmosphere was electric. Fans online speculated endlessly about potential outcomes, while insiders shared insights suggesting that the next moves could redefine the narrative entirely. Family members reportedly struggled with the implications, caught between loyalty, shock, and concern for the future. The intertwined fates of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar had created a scenario where legal proceedings, personal bond, and public spectacle intersected in a dramatic crescendo that was impossible to ignore. The day concluded with a tense adjournment, leaving all parties to process the unfolding drama and strategize for the next session. Cameras captured lingering glances, hushed conversations, and subtle expressions that hinted at unresolved tensions and anticipated confrontations. Fans were left captivated, social media abuzz with speculation, theories, and emotional reactions. The narrative had grown exponentially beyond a divorce case, evolving into a saga of betrayal, revelation, and high-stakes drama that promised more twists, confrontations, and shocking revelations in the days to come. Even as the courthouse emptied, the ripple effects of the scandal were everywhere. Hashtags supporting Yandy continued to trend. Clips of courtroom moments circulated endlessly, and the public remained captivated by the unfolding drama. The stakes were monumental, the emotional intensity unmatched, and the story far from resolution. Everyone involved faced a landscape of scrutiny, pressure, and expectation, while fans and media alike anticipated the next explosive chapter in a saga that had already redefined reality TV drama. The stage was set, the players in place, and the world waited for the next act in a story where secrets, emotions, and betrayal collided in unforgettable fashion. The next day, the atmosphere outside the courthouse was electric, as if the city itself had sensed the storm brewing within. Fans, reporters, and curious onlookers packed the area, eager for any sign of movement from Yandy, Mendeecees, or Tamar. Cameras flashed relentlessly, capturing every step, every glance, every subtle gesture that could hint at the tension simmering beneath the surface. Insiders revealed that overnight, both sides had been strategizing intensely, preparing for the next wave of revelations that promised to push the drama to new heights. Yandy arrived with the poise of someone who had mastered the art of controlling the narrative. Her expression was calm, but her eyes betrayed a fire that had been kindling for months. In her hands, the divorce papers remained a silent weapon, a symbol of empowerment and determination. She moved through the crowd with purpose, acknowledging fans briefly before entering the courthouse, each step sending a clear message: she was here to claim the truth, and nothing would stop her. Social media exploded instantly, live feeds capturing every detail and fans dissecting each movement, creating a whirlwind of speculation and commentary. Mendeecees followed shortly after, his face tight with tension, every action observed and analyzed by both the press and fans online. Insiders noted that he had spent the previous night reviewing every detail, every message, every potential angle to defend himself. Yet, despite preparation, the visible strain on his demeanor suggested the enormity of the situation was beginning to take its toll. The dynamic between him and Yandy was electric. A silent clash of wills that promised further confrontations, both in and out of the courtroom. The courtroom itself was charged with anticipation as proceedings began. Yandy's legal team presented new evidence, including audio recordings, text messages, and corroborating testimonies that cast a sharper light on the complexities of her relationship with Mendeecees and the involvement of Tamar. Each revelation was meticulously laid out, leaving no room for ambiguity. While the audience reacted audibly to the mounting drama, fans online were glued to updates, commenting in real time, analyzing every nuance, and debating loyalties with fervor. The energy was relentless, a digital echo amplifying the already intense courtroom tension. Tamar's testimony, long awaited and rife with anticipation, brought the room to a heightened state of tension. She recounted specific interactions, moments of miscommunication, and instances of emotional strain that she claimed had unintentionally contributed to the fallout. Her voice, at times trembling, at times sharp, conveyed the inner conflict of someone caught between personal accountability and the fear of public judgment. Murmurs filled the room as the weight of her statements settled, leaving spectators questioning her role. Was she a pawn, an instigator, or an unfortunate catalyst in the escalating drama? Mendeecees' attempts to clarify his position were increasingly tenuous. As he spoke, trying to contextualize prior interactions and actions, Yandy's gaze remained fixed, unwavering, her presence a constant reminder of the stakes at hand. Her calm composure contrasted sharply with his growing agitation, a visual testament to the power dynamic now firmly in her favor. The courtroom became a theater of emotion, with personal grievances, accusations, and the lingering specter of betrayal dominating every exchange. Fans online dissected each detail, fueling speculation and anticipation for the next explosive revelation. Outside the courtroom, the frenzy intensified. Social media platforms were flooded with clips, screenshots, and live commentary. Hashtags supporting Yandy surged while debates about Mendeecees' accountability reached fever pitch. Insiders shared behind-the-scenes insights, revealing family divisions, heated private conversations, and attempts at mediation that often failed. The personal stakes had expanded far beyond the couple, touching friends, family, and fans who felt deeply invested in the unfolding narrative. The drama had become omnipresent, inescapable, and impossible to ignore. Dramatic twists continued to unfold as the evidence mounted. New revelations emerged regarding past interactions between Tamar and Mendeecees, sparking fresh waves of shock and speculation. Each disclosure seemed more sensational than the last, keeping the courtroom and the public on edge. Witnesses provided corroboration, while attorneys strategically highlighted inconsistencies, creating a tense, almost cinematic atmosphere. The spectacle was not merely legal, it was an emotionally charged confrontation that blurred the lines between reality, entertainment, and public scrutiny. Yandy's authority in the courtroom was undeniable. She addressed every point with precision, her voice steady, her resolve unwavering. "I have waited long enough for honesty," she stated, her words carrying the weight of months of unspoken frustration and unresolved tension. "Today, the truth will no longer be hidden." The statement resonated deeply, eliciting audible reactions from the audience and fans online. It was a moment that crystallized the narrative. This was more than a divorce. It was a reckoning, a confrontation with hidden truths, and a public exposure of emotions that had long been suppressed. Mendeecees' defenses grew increasingly strained as the day progressed. His efforts to provide context, explain intentions, and mitigate the impact of the revelations often fell flat, met with pointed questions and rebuttals from Yandy's team. The exchanges became progressively heated, voices rising, gestures intensifying, transforming the courtroom into a stage of raw, unfiltered emotion. The audience, both present and virtual, was captivated, unable to look away as each moment compounded the tension, the stakes, and the anticipation for what would come next. As the session neared its conclusion, the atmosphere was electric. Family members whispered anxiously among themselves, journalists jostled for the best angles, and fans online debated endlessly about possible outcomes. Insiders hinted at behind-the-scenes confrontations, additional evidence waiting to be unveiled, and the potential for further escalation. The day had been a whirlwind of revelation, confrontation, and emotional turbulence, leaving all parties inside and outside the courtroom on edge. The narrative had evolved into a sprawling, high-stakes drama, with secrets exposed, alliances tested, and the future uncertain. As the court adjourned for the day, lingering tension remained palpable. Cameras captured fleeting glances, hushed conversations, and subtle gestures that suggested unresolved conflicts and anticipated confrontations. Fans and insiders alike speculated about what the next session would bring: more explosive revelations, emotional confrontations, or perhaps an unexpected twist that would redefine the narrative entirely. The saga had transcended the courtroom, becoming a spectacle of emotion, betrayal, and high-profile reality drama that had captured the attention of the public, social media, and fans across the globe. Even as the courthouse emptied, the story continued to ripple outward. Clips circulated endlessly online, hashtags supporting Yandy surged, and debates about loyalty, accountability, and emotional complexity dominated social media. The drama was far from over, with anticipation mounting for the next chapter in a saga where personal relationships, hidden secrets, and public spectacle collided in a dramatic crescendo. The world was watching, captivated, and waiting for the next act in a story that promised more twists, revelations, and emotional upheaval than anyone could have imagined. As the days passed, the tension surrounding Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar only intensified. The courthouse had become a second home for the parties involved, each session adding layers to a story that seemed to spiral further into chaos with every revelation. Insiders described the atmosphere as electric, with emotions running unchecked, tempers flaring, and every interaction charged with unspoken accusations. The public followed relentlessly, social media platforms exploding with speculation, analysis, and commentary from fans and reality TV enthusiasts alike. Hashtags supporting Yandy trended worldwide, while debates over Mendeecees' accountability and Tamar's involvement reached fever pitch. Yandy's determination remained unwavering. She entered each session with the poise of someone fully in control, every glance, every gesture calculated to convey strength and resolve. Friends reported that behind the scenes, she had meticulously prepared for every possible scenario, anticipating defenses, rebuttals, and emotional outbursts. Her divorce filing, initially seen as shocking, had become a rallying point, inspiring fans and creating a narrative of empowerment, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of truth. Every statement she made, every question she posed, underscored her commitment to holding Mendeecees accountable and exposing the layers of secrecy that had built up over years. Mendeecees, on the other hand, struggled visibly. His attempts to maintain composure often faltered under the weight of the mounting evidence and the unrelenting presence of Yandy's team. Whispers among insiders suggested that he had spent sleepless nights strategizing, trying to mitigate damage and control the narrative. But each session seemed to chip away at his defenses. His growing agitation was evident not only in his body language but also in the tone of his statements. Attempts to contextualize past actions frequently met with sharp rebuttals from Yandy's attorneys, further escalating tension and deepening the rift between the couple. Tamar's role became increasingly complicated as the courtroom drama unfolded. Her testimony, initially framed as an explanation of events, inadvertently opened new avenues of scrutiny. She revealed private conversations, hidden interactions, and emotionally charged encounters that shed light on the complexity of relationships, loyalties, and motivations. Her emotional state fluctuated visibly, alternating between regret, defensiveness, and moments of raw vulnerability. Fans and media alike speculated endlessly about her intentions, debating whether she had acted as a catalyst, a bystander, or an unwilling participant caught in circumstances beyond her control. The courtroom itself seemed to transform with each session, becoming less a place of legal proceedings and more a theater of high-stakes emotion. Evidence was presented meticulously: text messages, emails, recordings, all painting a vivid picture of betrayal, secrecy, and escalating tensions. Every disclosure drew reactions from the audience. Gasps, murmurs, and whispered commentary filled the room, amplifying the intensity. Social media mirrored the spectacle, with clips and screenshots spreading rapidly, creating a feedback loop of drama and anticipation that extended far beyond the walls of the courthouse. Yandy's statements were consistently precise and deliberate, projecting authority and control even amid chaos. She addressed the mounting evidence with clarity, leaving no room for misinterpretation. "I have been patient for far too long," she declared in one session, her voice steady yet charged with emotion. "The truth deserves to be known, and today, I will ensure it is." The courtroom fell silent momentarily, every eye fixed on her, and even fans watching from afar felt the weight of her words. It was a moment that crystallized the narrative. This was not merely a divorce. proceeding but a full-scale confrontation with years of concealed truths and personal betrayals. Mendeecees' defenses grew increasingly tenuous. Each explanation, each attempt to justify actions, seemed only to compound the perception of wrongdoing. Attorneys challenged inconsistencies, cross-examined with precision, and highlighted contradictions in his statements. The tension escalated with every exchange, voices rising, gestures intensifying, and the courtroom evolving into a battleground of emotional and psychological stakes. Fans online dissected every detail, analyzing body language, tone, and word choice, fueling speculation about the unfolding drama and predicting the next twists in the narrative. Dramatic revelations continued to emerge, further complicating the already volatile situation. Witnesses provided accounts of private conversations, emotionally charged interactions, and moments of betrayal that had previously remained hidden. Each new piece of evidence seemed more sensational than the last, keeping the courtroom, fans, and media on edge. Insiders described the proceedings as emotionally exhausting, with all parties navigating a labyrinth of tension, accusations, and conflicting loyalties. The unfolding story was no longer simply about legal outcomes. It had become a spectacle of raw human emotion, public scrutiny, and dramatic confrontation. As the proceedings continued, the personal stakes became increasingly apparent. Family members, friends, and associates of the couple were drawn into the drama. With private disputes spilling into the public eye, tensions ran high as alliances were tested, loyalties questioned, and the impact of past decisions came under scrutiny. Social media became a battlefield, with fans passionately debating each side, creating memes, sharing insider accounts, and amplifying the emotional intensity of the unfolding events. The narrative extended far beyond the courtroom, affecting relationships, reputations, and public perception in real time. Yandy's strategic presence remained central to the unfolding drama. She navigated each confrontation with poise, addressing evidence, countering defenses, and asserting her narrative with clarity and authority. Every word, every gesture, every carefully measured response reinforced her position and further undermined Mendeecees' attempts to regain control. The courtroom was a crucible where personal grievances, legal strategy, and public perception collided, each element feeding into a spectacle that captivated viewers and heightened anticipation for what would come next. As the session drew toward a close, the tension showed no signs of abating. Lingering questions, unresolved conflicts, and mounting anticipation ensured that the drama would continue to escalate. Insiders hinted at additional evidence, potential confrontations outside the courtroom, and the emotional fallout that would inevitably follow. The audience, both present and online, remained riveted, captivated by the high-stakes narrative of betrayal, confrontation, and scandal that had come to define the lives of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar. The saga had grown far beyond a divorce case, becoming a sprawling, emotionally charged drama that promised further twists, revelations, and shocking moments in the days to come. Even as the courthouse emptied, the story reverberated across social media, news outlets, and fan communities. Clips of testimony, emotional exchanges, and courtroom confrontations circulated widely, fueling speculation, debate, and anticipation. The stakes remained monumental, the emotions intense, and the narrative far from resolution. The world watched, captivated, and waiting for the next explosive chapter in a saga where secrecy, betrayal, and raw human emotion collided with the relentless scrutiny of public attention, ensuring that every move, every word, and every revelation would be analyzed and dissected for maximum drama. The following week brought a new wave of intensity to the courtroom. Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar were back under the glaring lights. Each arrival met with cheers, gasps, and the relentless scrutiny of fans and media alike. The anticipation was palpable. Every eye in the room seemed fixed on the trio, waiting for the next explosive moment. Insiders described the atmosphere as electric, charged with emotions that had been simmering for weeks, now ready to boil over. The stage was set for another chapter of high-stakes drama that promised to outshine everything that had come before. Yandy entered first, her steps purposeful, her demeanor calm yet commanding. Every gesture communicated a clear message. She was prepared, determined, and unwilling to back down. Friends close to her revealed that she had spent hours reviewing evidence, practicing responses, and mentally preparing for the confrontations that lay ahead. The divorce papers, now a symbol of empowerment and resolve, were held firmly in her hand. Social media erupted as clips of her entrance went viral, fans praising her composure and speculating on how Mendeecees would respond. Hashtags in support of Yandy climbed to the top of trending lists, turning her presence into a rallying point for viewers worldwide. Mendeecees arrived shortly after, his expression a mixture of determination and visible tension. Insiders noted that he had spent sleepless nights strategizing with his legal team, attempting to anticipate Yandy's every move. Yet, the pressure was evident. Subtle signs of stress, a tightening of the jaw, a rapid glance toward Yandy, a stiff posture betrayed the internal struggle he faced. The dynamic between him and Yandy was palpable, a silent but fierce clash that set the tone for the day's proceedings. The tension was not merely legal, it was personal, emotional, and intensely public, leaving fans and media captivated. As the session began, the courtroom became a theater of emotion and revelation. Yandy's attorneys presented a new tranche of evidence, audio recordings, text messages, and first-hand testimonies that revealed deeper layers of secrecy, emotional manipulation, and personal conflict. Each piece of evidence was more damning than the last, drawing audible reactions from the audience and gasps of disbelief. Social media erupted as clips of the proceedings circulated instantly. Fans dissecting every nuance, analyzing body language, and debating loyalties. The drama had become larger than life, extending far beyond the walls of the courtroom. Tamar's testimony took center stage once more. She recounted private meetings, emotionally charged encounters, and hidden conversations that had previously remained undisclosed. Her delivery was a mix of vulnerability and defiance, alternating between moments of genuine regret and sharp, calculated explanations. Murmurs filled the room as the audience grappled with the complexity of her involvement. Was she an instigator, a bystander, or an unwilling participant caught in circumstances spiraling beyond control? Fans online debated fiercely, analyzing each word, gesture, and expression for insight into her intentions and her role in the escalating conflict. Mendeecees' attempts to defend himself grew increasingly strained. Each explanation was met with pointed questions, careful rebuttals, and relentless scrutiny from Yandy's legal team. The tension in the room intensified with every exchange, voices rising, gestures becoming more pronounced, and the courtroom transforming into a stage of high-stakes emotional confrontation. The spectacle captivated fans, who followed the proceedings in real time, dissecting each moment for drama, scandal, and insight into the complex relationships at play. Outside the courtroom, the frenzy escalated. Reporters swarmed the entrances, capturing fleeting glances, whispered exchanges, and subtle gestures. Fans gathered to catch a glimpse of the drama firsthand, while social media platforms exploded with commentary, speculation, and live updates. Clips of Tamar's testimony and Yandy's statements went viral, sparking debates, memes, and heated discussions. Insiders revealed that family members were struggling to navigate the fallout, divided between support, shock, and concern over reputations, alliances, and future consequences. The personal stakes extended far beyond the courtroom, touching relationships, careers, and public perception in ways that were unpredictable and emotionally charged. Dramatic twists continued to surface. Previously undisclosed interactions between Tamar and Mendeecees came to light, revealing hidden dynamics, confidential conversations, and moments of tension that fans interpreted as both controversial and revelatory. Each new revelation heightened the stakes, kept the courtroom on edge, and fueled social media speculation. The drama was relentless, a cascading series of emotional confrontations, legal maneuvers, and public scrutiny that left all parties exhausted, yet fully engaged in the unfolding spectacle. Yandy's composure remained central to the narrative. She addressed each piece of evidence, every counterpoint, and all challenges with precision and poise, reinforcing her narrative and asserting control over the proceedings. "The truth will no longer be silenced," she stated at one point, her voice steady yet charged with authority. The statement resonated throughout the courtroom, eliciting reactions of shock, admiration, and speculation. It was a defining moment. This was not simply a divorce. It was a public reckoning, a confrontation with long-concealed truths, and an emotional climax in a saga of betrayal, secrecy, and personal upheaval. Mendeecees' defenses continued to crumble under the weight of mounting evidence. Cross-examinations, pointed questions, and contradictions highlighted by attorneys exacerbated the strain on his composure. The courtroom atmosphere became increasingly volatile, a pressure cooker of emotion, strategy, and public scrutiny. Fans watched in rapt attention, dissecting every word, every gesture, and every expression, creating an interactive, real-time commentary that amplified the drama beyond the physical confines of the room. As the session neared adjournment, the tension reached its peak. Lingering questions, unresolved conflicts, and mounting anticipation ensured that the drama would continue to escalate. Insiders hinted at more evidence to be presented, potential confrontations outside the courtroom, and the emotional fallout that would inevitably follow. The audience, both present and online, remained captivated, absorbed by the intricate web of betrayal, confrontation, and high-profile reality drama that had enveloped Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar. The saga had grown far beyond a legal proceeding, becoming an emotionally charged spectacle that promised further twists, shocking revelations, and intense confrontations in the sessions to come. Even as the courthouse emptied, the ripples of the drama continued to spread. Social media buzzed with clips, analysis, and speculation. Hashtags, supporting Yandy's sword, debates over Mendeecees' accountability intensified, and discussions about Tamar's role dominated conversations. The story's reach extended globally, captivating viewers, fans, and media alike. Every move, every glance, every whispered word became fodder for analysis, ensuring that the drama, tension, and suspense would continue to build, driving anticipation for the next explosive chapter in a saga that had already captivated the world and promised even more unforgettable moments. Now, after witnessing the shocking twists, the emotional confrontations, and the dramatic unraveling of secrets, it's clear that this saga is far from over. Yandy's decision to file for divorce has sent ripples through not just her personal life but the lives of everyone connected to this high-stakes drama. The courtroom battles, the explosive testimonies, and the hidden truths exposed have kept fans on the edge of their seats, craving the next revelation, the next twist, and the next emotional confrontation. As a viewer, you've been part of a story that feels larger than life, where emotions run high, loyalty is tested, and the line between reality and spectacle blurs in the most compelling ways. It's impossible not to be captivated by the tension between Yandy and Mendeecees. Every glance, every word, every subtle gesture in the courtroom tells a story of its own. We've seen composure clash with defensiveness, determination collide with frustration, and public exposure magnify personal struggles. The drama isn't just about a divorce, it's about accountability, trust, and the unraveling of long-held secrets. Tamar's involvement has added another layer of intrigue, creating moments that make you question intentions, alliances, and the complex web of relationships that connect everyone involved. Each revelation leaves you asking, what happens next? Who will emerge stronger, and who will be left to pick up the pieces? As fans, your reactions matter. Your discussions, debates, and analyses fuel the conversation around this story. From social media threads to live commentary, your engagement keeps the narrative alive, allowing the drama to resonate far beyond the walls of the courthouse. Every fan has their theory, their opinion, their prediction about the outcome, and your voice adds to the ongoing saga, shaping the way the world perceives the events unfolding. The power of fan involvement is undeniable. Your reactions, your curiosity, and your excitement create a communal experience that makes this story not just something you watch, but something you live. Now is the moment to stay connected, to be part of the conversation, and to continue witnessing the evolution of this high-profile drama. By liking this video, you show support for staying informed about the latest twists, for uncovering the truth behind the spectacle, and for being part of a community that thrives on the tension, emotion, and suspense of reality TV drama at its most intense. Subscribing ensures that you won't miss a single moment, a single revelation, or a single emotional confrontation as Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar continue to navigate the consequences of their actions in the public eye. Commenting gives you the chance to share your perspective, to weigh in on the conflicts, and to predict what might come next. Do you think Yandy will prevail in this battle for truth and empowerment? Will Mendeecees manage to salvage his reputation and navigate the fallout from these revelations? What role will Tamar play in the days ahead? And how will her decisions continue to impact everyone involved? Your voice contributes to the larger story, turning a dramatic spectacle into an interactive experience where fan theories, opinions, and reactions become part of the unfolding narrative. This isn't just another story, it's a saga of betrayal, emotion, and high-stakes confrontation that continues to captivate audiences worldwide. The courtroom may adjourn, but the drama is far from finished. Every session, every revelation, and every unexpected twist keeps viewers hooked, and your engagement ensures that the conversation never stops. The story of Yandy, Mendeecees, and Tamar is one where emotions run raw, secrets are revealed, and the consequences of choices play out on a global stage, making it impossible to look away. So stay close, stay engaged, and stay vocal. Like this video to support the unraveling narrative and show that you're invested in seeing justice, accountability, and the full truth come to light. Subscribe so that you're always among the first to witness the next shocking revelation, the next tense confrontation, and the next dramatic twist in this ongoing saga. And comment below to share your thoughts, your predictions, and your take on the most explosive reality TV drama of the year. Your opinions matter, your reactions shape the conversation, and your voice ensures that the story continues to resonate far beyond the courtroom walls. The journey isn't over, and the next chapters promise even more drama, emotion, and jaw-dropping moments. By staying engaged, you become part of the experience, a witness to the highs, the lows, and the unexpected turns that define this extraordinary story. Your participation fuels the narrative, adds depth to the spectacle, and keeps the energy alive, connecting fans across the globe in a shared experience of anticipation, shock, and fascination. Remember, this is your front row seat to history in the making. The drama between Yandy Mendeecees and Tamar is unfolding live, and every like, subscribe, and comment ensures that you are not just watching, you are part of the story. Engage, react, and be heard, because in a saga this intense, your perspective is as vital as the next explosive revelation. Stay tuned, stay involved, and prepare for the next chapter of a reality TV drama that promises more twists, more confrontations, and more unforgettable moments than you ever imagined.